Hello, so today we're going to talk about something that I've now had to do once, Anna's had to do twice, and that is introduce a new sibling into the family. You are going to get so many tips thrown at you, we did, and we're going to talk about some of the tips that we were given, some which worked, some which didn't, and just remember that every kid and every family dynamic is different. So someone might give you a tip that was brilliant for them and it might not work for you. So I think it's just going to be a trial and error. So you've done it twice. Come on.
No, I think for me it was different each time. Obviously I had Rocco at 2.5 when I had Diggory, and then I had Diggory at 2.5 when I had Ozzy, and they're such different kids as well. Yeah. One treated baby very differently to the other toddler. And yeah, we had lots of tips. I think it was my mum that said that she had bought my brother something from baby me.
Yeah.
When I was born. So
that's
Rocco,
nice of you. What did you get him?
I found my pocket money. I think I got his train set, which actually wasn't from me or the baby or anybody. It was second-hand. So it was
but why not? They don't need to know that. You know, you don't have to spend a lot of money. Go to the charity shop and get some proceeds from there.
But to be honest, again, it was one of those things. He wasn't really interested in the new present. He was interested in the new baby.
Yeah.
And I think I've done a bit of a, you know, it's one of those things that the more kids you have and the longer you are a parent, the more hardened you get to these things. And I think we can go a little bit too far in one direction. I think first time round and maybe even second time round, you can overcook some of these things. And I think now that I've kind of been through it a few times, you know, at the end of the day, I'm having another baby.
The baby's
You're going to have to deal with it. Our family dynamic's going to change.
Yeah.
You can't soften the blow. You're going to become big sister or big brother, and you are going to have to learn to deal with it. And yes, you know,
there's going to be bumps.
It's wonderful to try and encourage love for this child, but you can do the same thing for two different kids. And as I've seen with my boys, one will react completely different to the other. You might find that your kid's not even interested in the baby.
It doesn't actually give a monkey.
You know, you might find that one kid you have to lay down the law a lot more for. You know, I think Diggory with Ozzy, he obviously had a lot of love for him, found it very hard to express. And there was the odd occasion when that little squeezy hand,
little bit of a pull of a finger.
Shaky
Oh, what'll happen if I just squeeze a little harder? You're going to have to deal with those things, aren't you?
And I think naturally in any family relationship there is a love bond. You know,
well, this, you know, this was something that I actually didn't factor in, and that no one, you know, thought might happen for us. We were all quite worried about how Tilda was going to react with baby Ivy. I think we thought that, you know, she had me for 3.5 years. She's going to find this tough. But she actually kind of sailed through that part of it, and we underestimated how much she would love the baby. And how much we would actually have to physically pry her off her. And, you know, we were so worried about, is Tilda going to be all right, that we didn't think, oh my goodness, she might just love her too much, which is a wonderful problem.
I remember you telling me that you were going to put together a box, and every time you breastfed, she could get out this box.
I can say now that never even happened.
I can't imagine that happening.
Well, that was a suggestion to me.
And I think, and also I had a moment where I phoned you, didn't I, and said, I'm having a bit of a worry for Tilda that we've gone so far, you know,
too far the other side. Everybody was turning up with
walked
presents.
Through the door
My
with
goodness,
a great big present for Tilda and a tiny really present for Ivy to try and make Tilda feel amazing. And I spent my whole time there making eye contact with Tilda and saying, "Tell me about your big sister," and handing her the, you know.
And I think, you know, those things are nice. And I think, isn't it wonderful that you're a big sister or brother? And, you know,
my worry was actually for you that what was going to happen was everybody was going to come to your house and make this great big fuss of Tilda, like we'd encouraged, or, you know, like I'd done. And Fred had, I think he had a full 2 weeks off work.
He had 2 weeks off. We had my mother-in-law down. My mum had been down.
Family members. Friends coming round. And then I suddenly had this moment where I thought, God, you're going to get left. Suddenly, Fred's going to go back to work. So it's going to be down to parenting. All of a sudden, the excited guests all run around and there's a newborn.
The presents are gone. They're
And then suddenly, maybe we've made your life a bit harder. And that's the other thing that you don't want to do, is go so overboard at the beginning. Yeah. This new baby's arrived, and guess what? It's not about the baby, it's about you.
Yeah. And I had to take some of the presents and hide them. There were ones that got sent by post. If there was something in there for Tilda, I did actually start stashing them for later because there was too much. And wonderful, how nice that everyone was so generous. I'm very grateful for that. But I had to rein it in because it was too much. And I thought, like you said, it was suddenly
going to present that you stashed.
No, it was suddenly going to end. But then, actually, talking of presents that you gave us, this was one that you had given to us at Christmas in preparation for the baby. And ones like this, I think, are really great because they're about babies and siblings, and this one is a play and prepare for a new arrival in this charming first game. New baby lotto.
I do really. We're not sponsored by Orchard Toys, but I do really rate a lot of the Orchard Toys. There's a lot of learning stuff.
Really love this game,
and also it forces you as a parent to spend time with your kids. Yeah. There's sometimes a whole day can go by and I haven't actually done anything one-to-one with the kids, and playing games like this.
I think that's something that is important. And people did talk about doing an activity box, and if you've got time to do activity boxes, amazing, well done. But I didn't really have time to put those kinds of things together. But I did buy lots of those kind of activity books that were 69p from Home Bargains, and I got some of the the quick mix cupcake boxes. So I would feed Ivy.
You do a lot of cake mixing.
I'm telling you, I did. I would feed Ivy because again, I was probably going overboard. I was feeding Ivy, give her to Fred, and I'd be like, "Come on, Tilda, let's go make a cake."
Let's do it.
But it was only 20 minutes, and it was one-on-one time, and I was pleased I did it.
But I'm having to do it with Rocco at 9 years old now. I'm still having to think about one-to-one time, with each kid. And
it's a lot harder for you because you've obviously having three, you can't split yourself in three directions. Because I found that I could still do bedtime stories because I just took Ivy in there with me, or I was able to hand her to Fred. She was fine for 20 minutes with Daddy. You can still do storybook time, and those are things that I think if they've had it before, that makes them feel the rug's been pulled out from underneath them. If that goes.
It's all of those things are about working out a different way of doing things. Because I was on my own. I think once I'd had Ozzy, who was baby number 3, I was on my own from. Was it a week? Was he a week old or 2 weeks old? It was pretty early on, and I was thrown in at the deep end, having to do a school run, a nursery run.
Which again, sometimes it is a good thing. If you baptisms by fire is sometimes you know what? Let's stop having to have all the support in the world and just do it.
But and I think I was thrown in, and I had to do bedtime. I had to get a school child to bed, a toddler to bed, and a newborn baby breastfed. And I just had to find a way to do it.
Oh my God, I think I'd be
I can remember lying in the bed, and to me, bedtime is one of those sacred times. I know it's different in every house and for each different age group, but for me, there's never been a day when my kids haven't had a story and a cuddle at bedtime. However awful our day's been together and how much I've shouted at them and wanted to kill them.
I don't know what you're talking about. We never shout at our children, ever.
That's my moment to make everything right before they go to sleep. And I used to lie on one side with a boob out, feeding Ozzy whilst Rocco was finding a book to read, and whilst I read Diggory's story, and then I'd get into Rocco's bed and feed Ozzy on the other side with the boob out. But actually, again, they loved it because they had.
Well, they're all part
of it. It was not only that beautiful moment with me; it was a beautiful moment with their baby lying down while the baby was not screaming for something or.
And I think, so it was funny enough. It was a mother, and I think now grandmother, that said to us before I actually had Ivy, was that she always had a storybook there for feeding times, whether you bottle feed or breastfeed. There's going to be a time where you've got to sit down and you've got to give that baby that one-on-one time. But there's no reason why you and the other sibling or siblings can't all sit together, bring the book out, and make it part of the day. Which is actually,
I think it's so easy when you've got a newborn baby and you're working out how to juggle for your easy moment for the toddler, just to put the telly on or to hand them the iPad.
And I have done that too. I'm not going to pretend that I haven't used the telly as my crutch.
But if you can make it your go-to thing to pick up a book and sit there, then it creates a beautiful moment, a bonding moment, as opposed to a, you know.
And I think it's also nice for mum to just sit down for a minute and just go, okay, this is us. You know, forget about the laundry, forget about the hoovering, which I'm quite happy. This is where we are so different. She's like, oh, I can't deal with it. The house hasn't been mopped, and
I get heart palpitations.
Whereas I'm like, you know what? If the floor's not hoovered, I don't care. It's I find it much easier to say to somebody, you know what? Sorry, I haven't cleared up, than it is to actually clear up.
Hanging off my boob whilst stirring pasta and trying to sweep the floor with the broom with one hand, and control the other kids at the same time.
But yeah, I mean, those are some of the tips that did work, and some that didn't. Like I said, you know, you can go overboard, and you said that too. You know, don't feel like you've got to just constantly be pandering to the older kids. You know, the baby's here, and that's
like
that.
a come down afterwards where, hang on a second, Daddy's not here full time, and now there's this other kid in the room dropping in with presents for me, and all of a sudden. And I think, you know, sometimes you just need to get on with it. The dynamics have changed, and that should be exciting enough. And I think just making the mundane things about a new sibling be, you know, make those exciting for the child. It doesn't have to be a present. It doesn't have to be something you've bought that you give them. It can be bath time. I bought a baby bath for Ozzy. And I'm not a fan of baby baths. I think they're a pain in the bottom. My kids have generally gone in the bottom of the bath and shallow bit of water. But I bought the baby bath not for the baby, but for the toddlers, because I thought it was a good way of being able to, and again, it was my mum's advice, bring the baby bath onto the landing on a towel, and I could actually include the toddlers in bath time, and it made it very special. And I've got pictures of Diggory, you know, pouring the water onto Ozzy's tummy and then putting pseudocreme on up his bottom, whatever, all over his tummy and his shoulders. But it included them. It made it special. It doesn't, you know.
I think that's a good point that we haven't talked about. I think including them, full stop. Including them in. Can you go and get me a nappy? Can you help me with this? Which colour onesie should we put on them today? If they're being included, I think that's, you know, really special as well. One more thing as well is that there's loads and loads of books. This one's from the library. This one's just How to Be a Baby by me, the big sister. And these kinds of books, you know, when we're talking about doing reading time, they're quite nice because it just helps the older kid, you know, learn and be interactive with their babies and understand what they can and can't do. And it's not just you constantly saying no, which is another factor. I had, you know, my mum, my husband constantly go, oh, Tilda, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. And I felt like there was a lot of that happening. So I was kind of countering it in the other way and trying not to use the word no too much, because if they're constantly just being told no, they're just going to think, oh my God, this sucks, you know.
It comes back to that positive, you know,
reinforcement.
Trying to speak to a child in a positive way and a negative way, which is another hey mummy chat in itself. But, you know, instead of saying to the child, no, don't. You know, don't rock
unless they're about to
like that,
stick something in their face, but you know,
but to say, how about we try this? Or can you think of another way that might not perhaps jar the baby's fingers?
Or maybe you wouldn't like it if you had your arm pulled off by the socket, would you?
How would you feel if you bring
there's ways around it rather than constantly telling them no. But I think my final thought in it is actually don't underestimate your kid. They might be fine with it. You know, we did, I think, go a little bit overboard in our house, and like I said, I had to rein it in the end. So just don't underestimate them. Cherry's final thought. Take care of yourselves and each other. But do share your thoughts on this. What worked for you and what didn't work for you. I would love to know, and we'll see you on the next video from Hey Mummy.